Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me on the now due south wall of our recording studio / our very much our bedroom where the magic happens. And by the magic happens, I mean, I think Claire slept in this bed 3 of the last 5 nights is my lovely wife, Melissa Nickerson.
Hey there.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in into the little podcast that could hear Backseaters. We appreciate you guys so much. We appreciate all your love and your support and just all the stuff. All the stuff. It really just like gives me the feels. You know, I just get like a whole mood, you know, just like a whole vibe. You know, I just feel like we all just like did a thing and and now I got all the feels and it's a whole vibe.
I can't think of one phrase to add.
That's the big 3.
Yeah.
Did a thing.
You got them all.
All the feels.
Mm-hmm. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Those are the 3. Those are the 3. Those are the holy trinity of basic white girl statements.
All of those on one coffee mug. Yeah.
T-shirt.
Iced coffee.
Iced coffee and tacos or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for tuning in to our little podcast. Don't Make Me Come Back There. It means a lot to us. Today, we have quite a few things to discuss. We do. We have a TV appearance by yours truly. Lots of emails to get to about the book and questions that you guys had from the book Hang. And also, more importantly than all of those things, is today was field day.
Today was field day.
Today was field day.
After 2 years,
and
field day is back.
We worked the heck out of a frisbee toss station today, and we're going to tell you all about that. But before we do, I want to tell you guys about a couple things. I'm gonna sell 3 things to you real quick, and they all have to do with us. So don't skip, because if you do, then you're a bad fan.
No flipping.
That's a Larry Sanders reference. Hey now. Upcoming shows. Thank you to everybody that came out in DC. There were some great backseaters out there. I was supposed to be, I don't think I even told this story yet. I was supposed to be in the side room, but I got promoted to main room. Woo! Because Ron Funches got COVID, but I still got promoted to main room.
The crazy thing was you saw Ron Funches the weekend before.
I saw Ron Funches 2 days before right? I was on Corden.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's a great set. That's a good little Ron Funches. That's a great set. That's going to crush on late night. And he was very complimentary. And then I found out he had COVID the next day.
On Sunday.
And I was like, I'm about to take the highest pressure COVID test of my life.
Yes.
Please don't have gotten me COVID. And he got it and I didn't. He had it, I didn't. And we didn't. So I went to DC and we did 4 shows there at the DC Improv, which is maybe the best comedy club in the country. People ask a lot.
So awesome.
They say, it's like Joel asked me yesterday who my favorite actor or who the best actor was. And it is a great question. To me, you get to a point where you go, listen, this is the top tier. And then you're just picking who you prefer. Yeah. Because he said Christian Bale. And I was like, listen, there's an argument for that. I don't even think Christian Bale is the best actor in the Dark Knight movies, though. I think it's Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is the best actor ever, in my opinion. And that would be like arguing, what's the better comedy club? Is it the DC Improv, or is it Comedy Works in Denver, or is it Comedy on State in Madison? There's just a certain level of perfection, and maybe 3 to 5 clubs in the country have attained it. So,
and the DC Improv
is absolutely one of them. So
I haven't been. Yeah.
No, you have been to DC, my favorite city, as you know, my favorite city to walk around and watch teenagers be disappointed in their vacation.
Sure,
that happens a lot in that city.
Learning. Walking.
It's a bad vacation.
Museums.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you everyone who came out. I do have more upcoming dates. The next one on the seasonal headliner tour, we roll through San Diego.
That's right.
Home trip, July 1st and 2nd, and then July 6th and 7th in Chicago, and 8th and 9th in Chicago adjacent, Rosemont. The 13th, I was talking to the booker there. They think the 6th is probably going to sell out on that one. We'll see. Great. The 13th in San Francisco, July 14th through 16th in Huntsville, Alabama. That will not sell out. Huntsville's a hard market, and any support will be great there, but I'll be performing for people that have never heard me. And you know what? I'll make it work. I'll have a good time. Right. July 23rd, Nashville. July 29th and 30th, Appleton, Wisconsin. July 31st, Phoenix, Arizona. Then we move on to August. The 11th is Sacramento. The 13th is Bakersfield. The 14th is Oxnard. The 17th is Irvine. The 27th is Seattle. We just added, or we did add a second show to that one. The 28th is Spokane. The 31st is Raleigh, North Carolina. Then we go into September. Charlotte, the 1st. Indy, the 2nd and the 3rd. Kansas City, the 4th. Utah, Salt Lake City, the 9th 9th, and 10th. The 16th is, we're in September. September 16th is Atlanta. September 17th, Minneapolis. We just added a second show to that one. September 18th is Portland. September 25th is Louisville. September 29th is Houston. September 30th and October 1st is Austin. October 19th is Philly. And October 28th through 29th is St. Louis.
Woo.
There it is, everybody.
Right.
That's that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other things. Patreon, if you're not familiar with Patreon, Melissa can fill you in real quick while I take a sip of my tea because my throat is tired from yelling at kids at Frisbee all day today.
Yes. So Patreon is a way to give a little more and get a little more. And we have a ton of behind the scenes kind of things that our patrons get. We have a monthly Zoom hang, merch discounts. What else?
They get some free merch too, right?
They get some merch. Yep. Included in their packages, free meet and greets, one cameo a year.
Oh, speaking of which, I am on Cameo now too. If you guys don't want to do Patreon, you want to get Cameo, I am on Cameo. You can do that too.
Another option. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so many ways to support. At our highest tier, we send monthly thrift shopped items.
Absolutely. This one was the taco.
Oh, wait. Well, now he knows.
Oh, sorry. Dan?
No. Code to Grow.
Code to Grow.
Dylan.
Sorry, Dylan.
Dylan, you just heard something about tacos. Now you're going to have to wait and find out.
I promise it's not what you think it is. Dylan,
if we found
Dylan,
some
one of our
tacos at a
patrons,
thrift store.
Dylan, one of our patrons who gets one of those. Whew.
All right.
You got a taco thing coming.
Secrets somewhat safe. So that's our Patreon. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably going to do a Zoom hang. I don't know. Maybe the 27th. Monday the 27th
It's got to be
June.
Monday?
Yeah.
Where are we on the 26th?
LA.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We can do it that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 26th.
We tend to do them on Sundays. That's a long day, though.
We try to.
Oh, we'll be tired from seeing Brandy Carlisle the night before at the Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told me they were going to get us a ticket hookup, and then what they did was got us a cheaper fare, which is still nice. It's still nice. I'm not going to complain about that. I had a third thing to sell. What was it? It was live shows. It was Patreon.
I would guess your book.
We have sold that book so much on this podcast. And as one person commented, Guilt Trip worked. A lot of you guys bought the book, so thank you. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't, that's totally fine. It's totally fine that you didn't buy the book and you don't support creators and you don't support marriage.
That's right.
That's fine. No. If that's who you want to be as a person, you can just be that person. But I just want you to know when you go to sleep tonight, that's who you are.
You don't support the arts. You
don't support creators, and you don't support literacy, and you don't support marriage.
Actually, let's read that review from the therapist. I
can't dig that up.
No, it was on Amazon, right?
You know how long that's going to take you to look up?
You read it to me last night.
My phone is recording this right now. Melissa, your phone, you're just not even loading right now. Melissa hasn't even found the book online. Melissa.
I don't know how to buy the book.
Yeah. Okay. We're not doing this.
Wi-Fi won't allow it.
It's okay. Joel got home and he's streaming. Joel's streaming on Twitch right now.
He's going live.
Anyways, everybody, so here's what we're going to do. Like I said, we've got a few things to discuss. We'll do a weekend recap and which is kind of like a week-long recap, and it is quite a one.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, we want to do a field trip recap, and then at the end, I want to answer all your guys' questions that you had from the Zoom hang that we had.
You meant field day, but yes.
What did I say?
Field
trip. So anyways, today was our last field day, and it was Claire's first one. So the way that field day at our school works is that the kids, the elementary school that our kids go to, our young kids go to, is they get it K through second grade.
Yes.
Now let me ask you that. Did I remember field day going all the way through sixth grade? I
went to a couple different elementary schools, and I remember probably 2 or 3 field days. But I was upper elementary.
That's when you did them, was upper elementary?
Yeah, just that I remember. I remember 1 in Texas and 1 in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, but you remember being older for
being in lines, right? And there was a field. And there was water.
There was a field and a day.
And I just remember being like, this is the best day ever.
Field day was absolutely the best day of school.
Because they're like, okay, line up.
Yeah. And for you and I who are kind of competitive, we like a little competition here and there. It was, which events do you remember?
It was so organized.
It was so organized.
I think that's what I liked.
And I was wondering today, if this felt as organized as it didn't. I mean,
it's chaos, but also.
But to them, it doesn't feel like that. I don't think there's there's some confident volunteers and teachers,
and you stick with your class the whole time.
The whole time, yeah. Yep. You're competing against your. What was your favorite event?
I do remember some like under the leg ball passing.
Okay.
Like maybe one person over their head, one person under their legs, overhead, under legs, like that kind of stuff. And someone had to run to the front. Yeah, and I liked all the running.
Yeah, there were definitely some relay races. I remember those.
Or maybe with a water balloon, right? Past the water balloon over.
Water balloon toss was my favorite game.
Sure.
Because I always
You're like an outfielder.
I had soft hands. I did tend to thrive in that game.
Cradle catch.
Yeah. You just bring this in softly. And
you weren't worried about getting wet.
No, I mean, eventually you did. I mean,
it's going to break.
Yeah. I look back, I have so many questions on like, how did we end up being teamed with who we were and who was running these things? I don't even remember, but I knew it was an exciting day.
It was the best.
One day.
It was literally the best day of school.
One year, they wanted to make a rules video on how to properly play on the playground. Like, these are the swings. This is the swing rules.
Yeah.
Do this. Don't do this.
Or...
This is basketball. You can do this. You can't hang on the rim. And me and Charlie were selected to be the actors for the videos.
So did you get to do the bad stuff?
We did every activity you were supposed to do and not do on video. We did a whole school day of it.
Did you talk? Or just act?
Him and I we switched.
Okay.
So it'd be like, this is the swings. What's okay to do on the swings.
Welcome to the swings.
Is pushing, but no underdogs. It is okay to twist. It is not okay to jump off of the swing. And then Charlie would jump off the swing, and then we would go over
like a X.
Yeah. And then the big one was wall ball because
a lot of rules
in wall ball. And like,
how many times can you hit a kid with the ball?
Slams are okay. Grab slams are not okay. Rainbows are legal. Pockets are an out. And I remember there was the dodgeball rules because you used to still play dodgeball. And we both took turns hitting each other.
Yes.
We're like, okay, no, man, I'm going to be the head model on the no headshot one. And I was like, okay, well, then you got to be the one where you can't do Burnsies. And Burnsies were if you lost, you had to line up against the wall and get thrown the ball at. And that was the best day of my life.
That does
better than the birth
amazing.
Of all three of my children, better than my multiple TV appearances, better than marrying you, better than my published book.
You peaked.
The best day of my life was what year? 1996. Federal Way, Washington.
Filming a playground rules.
Me and Charlie
video.
Yancey spent the entire day just filming.
Did they air it? Did it
got aired in every class.
Post-production
Every single class. Every single class it got showed. It was the rules video. It might be the rules video today. And now it's a big deal that they got me. That rules video is on some VHS tape somewhere at Olympic View Elementary in Federal Way, Washington.
In an attic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right next to the hole that I put in the wall bowling after we made the video. I think I've told that story.
Put the bowling rules in there?
Well, it was the bowling unit. And I didn't think it would be so bouncy. And that thing was covered in plastic, and I threw it, and it bounced like a wall ball and put a Burnsie into the wall.
Did you guys catch it? Or no?
For bowling?
Okay. Oh, I see. But you said you bounced it like a bouncy ball.
Yeah, I just threw it. And I was like trying to be funny. I was like, what if I just like baseball throw it at the...
Oh, no.
And it bounced and hit into the wall. And I was like, whoa, I'm supposed to be the smart kid at this school. I just did a real dumb thing. I got a lot of memories in that elementary school. What I remember about that elementary school, I have 3 distinct memories in my elementary school cafeteria. 1, putting that hole in there. 2, the cakewalk every year at the fall festival.
Oh. That was the high of highs.
Yeah.
Was winning the festival cakewalk. I think that tops field day.
You think the cakewalk is better than the field day?
If you won the cake.
If you won the cakewalk.
Yeah.
How did you win the cakewalk? Wasn't it like a musical chairs type situation where you just had to stop?
They called a number.
Like, what do you mean?
Like there would be like 20 numbers and you would walk and stand on a number.
Oh, right.
And then they would pick a number.
And like you got the lemon meringue pie or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. And we used to actually have cakes. Now it's just like a bunch of cupcakes, like and it's a store-bought.
Right.
But we had like real cakes.
Like homemade cakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially those Texas years, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Texas had some good cakewalks, I bet. Some good potlucks, some good cakewalks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was all the Southern Baptist grandmas.
Some good state-run energy grids, of which people are blaming the president for, even though they're state-run. Sorry, that's just a little rant there. Hi, Texas. You're the only energy grid not on the federal one.
So random.
I'm so sorry that you have such terrible power issues twice a year. I love you, though. I'll see you in Houston and Austin and not Dallas. I'm trying to get Dallas to work. It's very complicated.
Hopefully it works.
Today was our field day. We loved our field day.
Did you actually say 3 things about...
and the third one is I remember...
Elementary school cafeteria.
I remember I would have a really dirty retainer in that one. I remember being like, I'm not good at managing this retainer because I had a retainer for like 3 or 4 months and I would get a lot of food in it. And I would just like look at it and I was like, oh my gosh, because I would take it out to eat. And I was like, this looks like hell.
Well, also they tell you to wear them while you eat.
Right.
And
I know.
It's a bad system. I think they're kind of doing away with retainers.
Really?
At least like still maybe after braces, but not during braces.
Right.
They just put them in now.
Didn't early on in our marriage, weren't you still rocking a retainer?
I did. That's why this tooth moved.
Because you stopped wearing it?
Because I stopped wearing it.
Are you gonna...
Well, you know why? Because I had all those pregencies.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to wear a retainer.
I have noticed that tooth has been on the move.
I know. It's really hard to wear a retainer when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
I do have a retainer, but that's not, the purpose is not to keep my teeth straight. It's to keep me from grinding my teeth away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So speaking of stress, were you going to transition to
No, we're still on field day.
Week?
No, I want to talk about field day.
You want to talk about field day?
Well, we haven't talked about the field day that we attended today. So today was field day, and I have never been here volunteering for any of the field days. But you and our dad friend John have worked Frisbee toss for 9 years.
Yes. Besides the 2 pandemic years, I have done 9 field days.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Claire had not, because it's
actually 10. Because Jill just finished 9th grade.
Yeah.
10 field days.
Because it's K through 2, 2nd grade. This was her first field day. Like Claire had no expectation, didn't even know what it was. Yeah. And we were kind of like, we'll see how this goes because,
school's hard.
Yeah, school's hard, competition's hard, winning and losing,
There was a few kids who were melting down. It's overwhelming.
I will say, if you're ever feeling discouraged about your kid, just go to the school and volunteer and you're like, oh, we're all dealing with something. All the kids got something. This kid can't throw.
The kids in the hallway.
This kid can barely stand. Mm-hmm. This kid's taking this way too seriously.
Yeah.
This kid is so mad that he lost. This kid refuses to pick up his Frisbees. You said
the instructions 10 times and they're still like doing none of them.
Right. It was a lot of that today. But so we were working Frisbee talk and we had Claire's class first. We had 9 classes that rotated through. Mm-hmm. And it was very fun. It was K1 and kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, which is just funny when you're like, oh my gosh, what a 2 years.
Oh, at the end, the 2nd graders are basically 3rd graders, right?
Right.
Physically, and there is just such a contrast. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big growth. Like the kinders, you're like, do your best, try and launch the Frisbee.
Well, what was really funny was Claire's teacher is sub right now, and he's a PE teacher, which is very obvious because he carries a whistle. You're like, what are we doing?
He had a clipboard, a whistle.
He was full PE teacher.
The best day for him to sub was field day.
Right. But what I caught immediately was what we're trying to orchestrate here. We cannot actually teach them how to throw a Frisbee. Like I simplified it down to the most basic instructions that I could, which were, if you've never thrown a Frisbee before, it's very easy. Take whatever hand you throw or whatever hand you write and draw and throw with. Grab the Frisbee with that hand, hand, put that same leg forward, and just do this toss like this.
Bend
and
your elbow.
I didn't tell him any of that stuff. I didn't tell him, when you don't even understand bend the elbow. It's like
I was only said that because the podcasters can't see you.
Oh, right. Yeah. I just do a frisbee throw. And then I modeled it for them. And then I would say and then I would get in a position and I would do the throwing motion. Because I was like, maybe if you see me do it, then it'll click for you. But the guy was like trying to coach him up. I was like, we can't. There's no coaching. There's no coaching here. This is just
cute.
fun.
That's cute. Yeah, they're like, put your index finger.
He's like, put your finger along the thing. And they're like, do you think they know what their index finger is? No, man. I'm not sure what my index finger, my pointer finger, which...
Truly, the thing that you really have to emphasize is do not run to get your frisbees until all the frisbees have been thrown, which happened a million times.
My main objective is to make sure nobody gets hurt during this.
And you got hit in the ankle.
Yeah, by a friend's kid. But here's the thing about Frisbee. This is why Frisbee is a great one, is there is a dumb luck to a Frisbee throw at that age.
Absolutely.
And so there were some kids who had never even heard of a Frisbee before that sunk their shots.
Yeah.
With the worst form you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they might as well have kicked it. It was some of the worst Frisbee throwing you've ever seen. And then it goes in. And meanwhile, Jack the Jock, who,
overthrows
is
him.
wearing head to toe
Nike
gear with a Mamba mentality shirt.
Yeah.
is chucking it too hard and hit a car.
Yeah, actually a lot of the girls were getting the
girls
the
dominated,
baskets,
absolutely dominated. Because they're like, this
is fun.
They're like, this isn't about power, is it? This is really more of a finesse game here.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. Please, elementary schools, never get rid of field days.
No.
I remember just, oh man, it's coming. And then they got to do the best. I mean, it's all great, but then it ended the way that it absolutely should, which is they all go to the outside tables and they have Otter Pops.
Yep.
Name brand Otter Pops.
Oof.
It's great. Really, really
so
special.
Good.
We saw Claire and
so
she's like, I fell on my ankle really hard. I'm like, I mean, I'm sure you did, but
she did it.
She did it, and she gave us a hug.
Group games
left.
are not easy for her.
She didn't have a lot of experience with them, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was field day. Week recap. So last Tuesday, we had a book come out. If you didn't hear that until now,
you're under a rock.
No, you had a very specific path to consuming my content, our content, in some strange way that like you muted me or the algorithm didn't show or you hadn't listened to this podcast in a long time.
But we did get quite a few comments like, how did I miss Corden was coming out?
Yeah, well.
And that was because...
Zuckerberg.
Well, that was because we couldn't tell anyone in advance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was penciled in a week before.
Right.
Or inked in a week before, but penciled in for a while. Looked like it was getting bumped.
Right.
I think someone else got COVID and we got the slot.
It was spectacular, you guys.
Yeah.
You work really hard for these things and they happen and it's great and you're very excited. I got the call maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe 2.5 weeks from right now. It was not.
Yeah,
but I had been working.
Called me.
I had been working with him since January on a potential set, and we had been targeting this date, but he couldn't confirm anything. As is just the which is great because they're about to shut down for the summer. Like I think they might be this week or next week they shut down for the summer. I mean, we really squeaked in there. So the biggest pressure of it, and I'm not being hyperbolic here. I mean this. The most nerve-wracking part was not making sure we didn't get COVID. Yeah. I am ashamed to say this, but over the last week and a half, I took COVID more seriously since the original lockdown. Like I was
you took so many self-tests.
I was just short of cleaning the groceries. We were everywhere. It was, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm so nervous. And then when I find out somebody got it and then kids in our school were getting it, and there's definitely a spike going on right now.
Yeah.
I told Taylor, I was like, I know this is bad, but I'm like, I'm not worried about getting it, the getting sick part. Though I know you could get it and it's pretty bad. Like Ron had it pretty bad, but I'm more just like, this will be a really...
You told me we were driving into our hotel.
Okay, so full context here. We drive up. Okay, so the taping and the book release come out on Tuesday. Yeah. We also have a little after party that we've planned on Tuesday in LA with some friends and family, and we're very excited. Actually, it was just friends. There was no family there. Sorry, I don't know why that was so funny to me. It was just friends. You can cancel a hotel 48 hours in advance and get your money back depending on who you booked them through.
Right.
And so but I knew the COVID test was Monday because they have to take a test within 24 hours.
CBS concierge come out and do it.
There's no home test.
So there's no refunds.
Yeah.
No hotel refunds.
So I've taken tests all weekend and I'm so nervous. I take a test Monday morning at home and it's a negative. And that's the first that I kind of breathe a little easy because I'm like, the odds of me having these 4 or 5 negative tests and then this pulling up positive are very low. Same with you. Mm-hmm. And we're driving up. We didn't do our coffee stop, right?
No, we didn't. And we're in Hollywood. We're pulling into
our hotel. We are trying to be celebratory. I'm trying to be better about this in life. I got a nice hotel in Hollywood. We're spending multiple days up here, throwing a little after party for the book release thing, and we're pulling in, and I say to you...
You say, if this test is negative, we're leaving immediately.
No, I said, no, I didn't say that. I said, I'm asking her, I was like, well, what if we do if this is a positive test? I kind of put it in your court and you didn't say anything. And I said, because I feel like we might as well just go home if it is, because there's nothing for us to do up here. We can't do the party. We can't do Corden. I can't do any of the sets. I can't go to the Comedy Store. I can't go to dinner. I can't go to dinner. Mm-hmm. I go, we can't do anything. And you said,
I think I said like, I can't think that way.
I can't go there right now.
Yeah.
And that was a very honest response. Mm-hmm. And I didn't bring it up again because you are right. Like, I am not a pessimistic person.
I think all being an entertainer and a performing artist during COVID, like everything had to be so open-handed.
Very, very open-handed.
Like all the balls could drop because most of them did, mm-hmm. And so even you're just like, you're kind of expecting it.
Yeah. They continue to as well. What was the one you said yesterday?
We were talking about how airlines have bumped the prices up so much.
It's so expensive. It cost me $1,100 to fly to DC and back. And you're like, guys, there's a couple contracts and stuff that you go like, we have to beef these numbers up because suddenly costs are so much higher. But if this would have hit me 5-6 years ago in our career, I would not be able to do these dates. I would not.
No, I think there's many comics that
already happening.
Are going to have to rethink a lot of their
So we're making
travel.
less money. The pandemic is still hitting us. Yep. It's all, mm-hmm. We're, the economy, and I'll never pretend to understand why things happen the way they do. But I know that a lot of the financial world has changed and everything is more expensive. And it's never mm-hmm. been a less consumer friendly world either. It's friendly, it's expensive, and it's bad.
Yeah, right. Like you have one of the airlines we use a lot. We have all these companion passes, and
they're like, no longer, just kidding.
They no longer work.
They don't work for these dates. They're like, if you get lucky, maybe. If you win the lottery, maybe
you can use
like if you are going to a place that nobody has ever wanted to go to before, then maybe.
On a Wednesday morning.
Yes. Yeah.
In October.
You can take a red eye to Duluth, but that's it. That's the only one that we have is the red eye to Duluth.
On Saturday night.
All due respect to Duluth. So anyways, the test come out negative. Biggest relief.
Yeah, we find out Monday afternoon.
Now I'm not even, because I was never nervous about the set anymore, because I was like, I ran this, I dialed it in, I ran it in front of him on Saturday. The booker.
You practiced so much.
Oh, you run it so many times. It went well. I did that. I'm landing at the right time. I feel good. I've made all the decisions that I make. I know this material. I told Taylor, I say the only thing that could go wrong is if my just brain screws me over. That's it. Like if my brain just decides to stop working. You like it, which could happen. You could forget your joke. Mm-hmm. It's happened before.
Freeze up.
A lot of people have bombed on TV before. It's a thing that happens.
There's just so much pressure when the tape rolls.
It's just very different. Mm-hmm. Tapings are very, very different feeling. But Cordons, you're very close to the front. There's not a lot of people in there. There's like less than 100 people in there, and they're all wearing masks. Mm-hmm. But the first group of people is at tables, and they're 6 to 8 feet in front of you, and you're like, this is great. Because a lot of them...
Great venue.
A lot of them, you're far away from them, and it's not. It's hard to make a connection with them. So set went great. Outfit picking was fun with you and Taylor. I couldn't decide on anything. I didn't really know where I want, and I told you and Taylor to get bossier, and you both obliged. And you guys bullied me around to Macy's.
Yes. Well, June is not a great time to find long sleeve.
We're looking for sleeves.
Shirts, sweatshirts, jackets for men.
I don't want to show my arms on TV. We're not there.
Well, it's just, formal. Men wear long sleeves, and all that. And this was not formal, but not a great time fashion wise to buy that stuff. So we were coming up pretty slim pickings.
Yep, but we found it. Last store we went into.
TV has a lot of, no logos or very small logos.
Yeah, people have been asking about the flannel. People, it's usually advised against to wear flannel on TV. Yeah. I don't love that because it kind of... It's busy, and it can show up kind of weird sometimes on...
It's hard. Yeah, like remember even for a book cover.
I mean, these aren't real problems in life, people.
It's just, movie magic. Yeah. So anyways, we got your outfit. We were bossy. We got dinner. You got your mustache shaved. We went to our call time was 2:45.
Yeah. So the next day, you just skipped the whole day.
Well, I did.
What did we do? I don't remember what we did Tuesday morning before. Because I stay at Marriott's a lot, we had breakfast vouchers, and the best 3 mornings of Melissa's life were
calling and saying, "Yeah, get over easy eggs and toast."
Yeah, because on Friday, the punchback, the kickback or snap back to reality on Friday, I have to get up at 4 a.m. and fly to DC and do 2 shows that night. And when you wake me up, you text me like 2 eggs, sourdough toast,
over easy,
black coffee, please.
I had 3 days of that.
Yeah.
Tough reality.
It was.
Yeah. Return to reality.
I put on, after the taping, I put on a pound a day for 8 days. Because I was like, I have lost a lot of weight for this.
Yeah.
And this is my little window. Now I'm going out with Bert this weekend. So that will not be an easy task because I do have another taping thing coming up with Kev in July. But I went pretty hard the last week. Just sweets. So many sweets, sweets and beer and sweets and sweets and beer. So much toast. If you've been, oh gosh, just toast.
Sourdough toast.
Oh my gosh, sourdough toast. It's the best of the toasts by far. So anyways,
taping went great.
People are asking, was Cord nice?
So nice.
He's so nice. He's very nice.
Yeah.
He came into the green room. He was enjoying talking to Taylor and Melissa and I, so much so that his team had to keep getting him like, come on, let's go. We have to go. We have to start the show. It was great. I met Tig Notaro, comedy legend, very funny. There was a Schwarzenegger on the show, not Arnold. It was his son, Patrick. And
I didn't see him.
I never saw him. I only saw him on TV. You are very kind of isolated, especially with COVID and everything. And it was great. It was all super fun and dreamy. And they give you nice things like a little tea set. He gave us a very British gift bag. It was all tea.
Tea sampler.
So many tea samplers. I don't think they gave us this mug technically, but I took it. And I will use it every morning. Like, I just got it when I did the show or whatever.
I know the kids will break it like in a week.
And let me tell you, man, everything else, did I make it onto our local city's Facebook group? You better believe it. That's City Happenings.
La Mesa Happenings, one of those.
Where Mel and I getting recruited from a PTA mom today for an event. You better believe it. You better know that
local celebrity.
We have leveled up our social status here in our East San Diego community.
Are we in the newspaper? No.
Are there still newspapers?
On the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same thing.
It was great. It's a generational thing.
Thank you all for your support. That's all I'm here to say. What we did the next day was we did a Zoom hang with everybody that pre-bought the book.
Well, I planned a party for the book on Tuesday night, and we ended up having a ton of comics over at a friend's house in Culver City, some industry folk, and it was super fun. Everyone came. And nobody sat down the whole time.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah, all the comics stood. And
it was very funny seeing comics in a home.
In a domestic building.
With animals.
They were holding the bunnies. They loved the dogs, the pugs.
The big bunnies were the hit because our friends who hosted it had the biggest bunnies in the history of bunnies. So
I don't remember what they're called. They're huge bunnies. We had a cake with our book on it.
It's great.
Very exciting. And our friend Irene made the best chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, Irene Walton, who is a front seater.
She hosts Dead Dad's Kitchen.
Oh, Mel, giving a little plug.
I'm giving a little plug because those cookies were so good.
Yeah.
And I know how long it takes to make cookies.
And I told her not to make cookies, and we
told her,
did,
no, just show up. And she brought those amazing cookies. So yeah, it was a good
the best time. And the next day we did a Q&A and we asked a few questions on there on the little Zoom hang.
Yes, we did a Patreon and launch team Zoom for the book, which was super fun.
And we have a bunch of extra questions and we're going to get to some of them and then we'll get to some of them in future episodes.
And you can still send in your questions about the book.
About anything.
Anything, but we're happy there's some good questions here, so let's get to it.
Okay, so this is from Carrie. Question.
All right.
How did you decide what to wear for the cover photo? Carrie from Georgia. I hope you're near Atlanta. I'll be there.
Hey, Carrie.
Great question, Carrie.
That is a great question. And Carrie, it took so much work. Actually, it's what I did when my daughter was at Nationals last summer. I have a friend who's a stylist. I made boards. We had 3 boards with 3 different outfits for each of us. And then we had to purchase everything. And a lot of things we had to buy 2.
Right.
Because in between sizes and measurements, and then they would come, and then I would try them on with all my kids and cats in the background of these photos. And then we would report back to the stylist, report back to Dustin.
And I picked out a flannel.
She picked out a flannel.
I know, I was oversimplifying. Babe, you missed the bit.
Jeans were...
The joke was the contrast there. Gosh, I can't hold your hand through this podcast because you're trying to make it... accurate.
That's not how it was, Dustin.
Melissa, this is, you can still communicate the truth. You just have to let the joke hit.
I know.
And then go, actually.
Hey, I actually had the joke earlier.
Which joke?
That's where you to take it out.
Oh, yeah. There's a joke that we edited out of this podcast, guys. It was a little dicey from old Mel Spice next door.
I couldn't believe how hard it was to style a book cover.
Right.
Like down to I hemmed a skirt that like at 11 p.m. the night before the book shoot. And then the photographers took one look at me in it and said like, we can't. That pattern is too busy.
Yep. And you're like, you could have told us that.
And I bought that skirt in multiple sizes and I hemmed one so I couldn't return it. And
whatever happened to it?
That's just the way it was. That's just the way.
Where is that
I still
dress?
have it. Yeah, I still have it.
That one showed a little midriff, right?
It did. My friend picked out like Coach shoes. Those were essential to her. And the heels, I wore them for the shoot and I returned them.
I love that. We'd love to see that. Ooh.
But it was a lot of fun and it was stressful, but it was a lot of fun.
It was all about contrast. That was the whole idea, which was Mel looked super put together in the cocktail dress, and slim and tight and pretty,
sleek,
and a lot
chic.
of makeup, more makeup than you normally wear. And then I looked disheveled and put together. And as some people have pointed out, yes, there is an irony to the fact that we're holding hands. And that on the cover.
Yes, that is. The publishers wanted us to hold hands.
Right. But I'm not going to tell you, you'll know if you've read the book, you'll know why that is ironic.
Well, and actually the funny thing was our art director was on Zoom in Tennessee and she did not want me to look away.
Right.
She wanted me to look at you. And the photographer and I got to a place in a moment where we knew it was right for me to look away. And that was earlier in the shoot when the art director wasn't around. And so we still got the shot. And then they actually moved my head from the jean dress to the black dress. So that was some Photoshop.
That is some Hollywood magic, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So we got the shot we wanted. And as the customers, we got to choose in the end. But we went against orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta,
because Bill and I were in sync.
Listen, if there's one thing that Melissa is good at, it is communicating what she wants.
Through my eyes.
Yeah. Through just life. But the problem with it is a lot of time you don't know what you want.
Sure.
So
well, it was a very fun creative moment for me and Bill.
What you creatively finding what you want oftentimes does involve you kind of barking orders.
I was not barking orders at that photo shoot because I have art directed before.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't the art director.
No.
And we collaborate for our Christmas cards.
We weren't the art directors, but we did have final say.
Yeah.
Is our book.
As the
customer. It's our faces.
Yeah. So
not as the customer, as the creators.
That's true.
We're not the customers.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
At the end of the day, we got to choose everything about it. We had complete veto power.
Yeah, we were absolutely thrilled with how it turned out.
I will say this about that shoot and recent headshots and stuff like that. You take so many photos, and I feel like at the end of the day, I was like, geesh, we still didn't have that many that we were even happy about. Like I do feel like we were like cutting it close.
I know. And sometimes I go, I should have, when we have to do lots of headshots for you and stuff. And I go, I should have looked closer because I do try to trust. In any industry, you're trying to trust the expert.
Right.
But also get what you need because you're paying for it.
Exactly.
And you have to use it.
Good question.
So, anyways, sorry, I went on a rant.
No, you're fine. I know. I like it. Don't apologize. You're on a podcast. That's the whole point. Question. This is from Sarah. Hi, Dustin and Melissa.
Hi, Sarah.
Did you ask for anything specific in your dressing room at the Late Late Show? Melissa, were you sitting in the audience? I'll answer the first one. Okay. No, did not ask for anything specific in the dressing room. I'd been to dressing rooms at studios before, and it's very common what's in there. You're going to have usually a gift of some sorts. You're going to have a little small fridge of waters and drinks. They had asked us what food we would want.
They had three different
delightful.
Like kind of box options.
We ate so much salami, and then
I ate all the cheese.
Yeah, you ate all the cheese, and Taylor and I can't
Dustin
have cheese.
Can have it. Yeah.
And then there was like a little bar area of which I had a drink and a half from, just to kind of take the edge off, just to be a little loosey goosey, not too loosey goosey though, and also just to enjoy the moment because life is about enjoying the passing of time.
Absolutely. It was fun. There was crew everywhere. We went outside for a while. If you had not been going on stage, you would have been playing basketball. There was a basketball
There was a crew outside playing basketball, and I absolutely wanted to do that. But I had to, we went outside and I was like, oh, this is nice because we're like on the roof at CBS.
Windy.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And then I got beckoned for makeup, so...
Yeah.
Hollywood, baby. A lot of people said I looked really good. Thank you. That is because I have lost weight and because I was wearing makeup. That's the bigger thing. Take that shine off, make this little red dot on my nose go away. It's nice.
It's nice. Yep.
Melissa, were you sitting in the audience?
So I was backstage. Dustin had his own green room, and Taylor and I were in it.
In the green room. Yeah.
No. But, like Schwarzenegger had his green room.
Right.
Take had her green room.
Mm-hmm.
And then the producer let us walk you to your position behind the curtain. And then Taylor and I and the producer ran backstage to the side where all the producers stand of the audience. So I got to watch it live and could look at the cameras too while they were filming it. I was worried they weren't going to get your kick
but
they had multiple cameras.
The rehearsed kick was so funny.
They did great. Yeah. So it was super fun. I wasn't nervous for you. I was just excited. And Corden was just so happy with how it went, and he was so cool before.
Yep. And the booker
felt
said,
like a dream.
Booker said, I have never seen him laugh that hard, which is very, very nice. Mm-hmm. That's what you like to. That's what you like to hear.
Yeah. So overall, I don't think it could have gone any better. Yeah.
It was a very special time. All right.
Yep.
We've got time for one, maybe two more questions. This is from Autumn, great friend of the pod. What was the biggest fight you guys got into while writing the book? Do you know?
No,
I'm thinking
to choose from. We had a fight the night before the photo shoot. And
did we?
I remember using that fight to get that photo on the book cover.
Like your energy?
Yeah.
You channeled that anger?
All you had to do was look at the camera and look fun.
You're right. Yeah, that's all I had to do.
Bill and I had to
and write the book.
I'm just saying for the cover.
Broker the deal.
I'm just saying for the cover. That's the fight I remember. Because I remember sewing. I forgot I had to hem the skirt.
Yeah.
It's late at night. You have to bring so much stuff to a photo shoot.
Yeah.
You know.
You do have a drink or two during the shoot.
Boxes.
Which was nice.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a high. It's funny because you don't dress like that.
No.
Or you don't really look like that. And then the girl, you do look like that, but you don't present yourself like that very often.
I don't. No.
And there was a moment where the makeup girl was putting makeup on your fairly high leg. And I was like, well, this is an enjoyable experience.
She was lotioning up my legs.
Yeah. I was like, well, this is a good time. And it's 1. It's so early in the day.
You're just in Mission Gorge in a studio space.
It's just a nothing little area. But what was our fight about? It was just the stress
of it
just all.
Something. That's the problem. Is I just remember I can't believe we're fighting right now.
Right.
But of course we were. It was just a deadline.
Yeah. Well, massive character flaw of mine is to get dismissive of things that are important to other people if I don't deem them important. And it's a huge, wildly arrogant flaw. And because I'm just well, this isn't important to me, even though I know it is important, and it actually is very important to me. But sometimes I will be dismissive and flippant towards if I think something is getting more work and attention than it deserves. And I've never told you that, but I do know that about myself.
Yeah, and I laser in on stuff.
And I sometimes try and help you get out.
It's not always the right stuff.
I actually think we do have that. That is a point of tension that we do have. It's not in the book. This is a Don't Make Me Come Back There exclusive right here.
Original.
Is that you will narrow down sometimes, or you narrow down a lot on a thing.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that's great. And oftentimes that's detrimental because I'm like, you're not seeing the bigger picture here. And but that's only part of the time. And it probably is close to 50-50 of who's quote unquote right in that scenario. Because I'm like, hey, I just need you to kind of zoom out and see that this is not a big deal. But at least half the time it absolutely is a big deal. Yeah, or it's just crucial that it needs to get done.
With massive projects or deadlines, it's like you're holding all the details, but you're the one that has to perform, you know, usually. And so like, I remember when we filmed our special, we dropped our kids off at our friend's house and I like forgot their insurance cards.
Hilarious.
And everybody was like laughing at me.
Right,
like they know me. I am getting stressed out, but I've just packed 3 kids and everything for the special. And you're the one that has the set and the right. all the crew and you know, like you have all that to deal with, but I have my other piece of the puzzle. So it's just a lot of details.
Right. But it isn't. It is our special in the sense that
absolutely
we both got the check. We both orchestrated the plan. Yeah.
I joked that after the Zoom hang, like my show was over, you know, because I had all week I'm posting online, I'm talking to these launch team members, you know, and you are too. But like it was just that was the last piece that I had, the last detail that I really had to iron out. But then we went and talked to club bookers, so that was our next show. Anyway, and
I got really tired, and I just fell asleep at 9.
Yeah, actually, I've been asking you when was your last good night of sleep, because when you have a big project, I sleep well. I fall asleep, but if I have a huge project, I will dream about it or make up scenarios like all night. Right. And I've been doing that for about a week and a half.
Right. I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I kind of always have a huge project.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean that I carry a bigger load than you, because I don't mean it like that. I just think that your work is more detail oriented and my work is a little bigger looking in scale, in the sense that you're like, I mean, I have to be on stage for 2 hours tonight. Or, you know, so I don't
No, I get that. I've performed for art classes and fitness classes.
Yeah, it's a total,
but the scale is lower, you know,
I mean, it is and it isn't.
The stress.
I don't think that that's entirely true. I think that getting up in front of a class and getting up in front of, like, the point is you have to go beyond for something, and things can go wrong. It's
always.
Like it's what it is. It's like hosting a party every night.
I said that if you're on a theater tour, it's like it's your wedding every night.
It's your wedding every night.
Because you have the VIPs in the green room and you have this crew and you have these vendors that you're dealing with all day. Yeah.
It's actually more like it is a little bit of that, but you still have to perform, because you don't have to perform on your wedding day.
Right.
You know? That's like I've always told, it's like, you know, the person who's not having fun at the wedding, at the first part, the officiant.
No.
Because it's a high pressure gig. That is a high pressure gig.
The highest of pressure.
Oh, you can't botch a wedding. It's why I read them. It's why I have an iPad.
And it's why you should pay your officiant, you know?
Or at least, you know, fly them out to Nashville.
Gift them or whatever. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys so much.
All right. Bye.
Hey folks, want to give a special shout out to our Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up tier. That list is Averill Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Code to Grow, Dave Hoagland, Demarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, Tiffany Payne, Farrah Journey, David and Melissa Cox, Isaac Tarrin, Lori Amos, Carrie Teague, The Forgotten Friend Reptile Sanctuary, Jordan Cowan, Courtney Eibling, Juliana Smith, Bonnie Galliando, and Jennifer Ashley Downs. Thank you guys so much for what you give to the pod.